Obviously, a tough loss, a disappointing loss. Got beat all the way around from coaching to playing. I accept that. Got a lot to learn from, a lot to work on, and that's what we'll do. No excuses. Give credit to Dallas. They just did everything better than we did tonight.
On the block field goal, I mean, you guys seem to be kind of humming on offense early on that first drive, and then some things went wrong. What did that series of events that ended that possession and the block field goal? What did that do for the rest of the night for you?
Well, you're gonna have play. You hope you don't have plays like that. You're gonna have some bad ones throughout the game. That you give up 7 on special teams and you give up 7 on offense, and that's 14 points right there, and a field goal. They missed the extra point. It was 16 points early. Still competing, but just could never really string it together, Mark. Really in any area.
7 sacks, I think 12 quarterback hits. What was wrong with the protection?
Well, we got into one of those games as the game went on where we were throwing the ball and they knew we had to throw the ball. We're down a bunch. Have to look at the tape for some of the stuff. But obviously it wasn't good enough. No area was good enough tonight, from protection to coaching to running to tackling, whatever it may be, you name it, wasn't good enough.
Brian, did you ever think of taking Daniel out because he took a pretty big beating?
Yeah, no. I was going to let him see it through there just until that last series. Try to get something positive going, Dan. We didn't have much going. Just wanted to try to get a positive drive and try to punch the ball into the end zone. But that didn't happen.
Seemed like kind of a rough night for your rookies tonight, their first timers. Did you? I mean, obviously without.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at it, Mark. I'd have to go back and look at it.
What's your concern level with the offensive line at this point? Particularly the right side seemed to have a.
Yeah, I'd say there's we got a lot of work to do in every area, Jordan. Not just the offensive line, every area on the field, from coaching to offense to defense to the kicking game, and that's what we'll do.
There's a lot of talk after last season about bridging the gap between you guys and the others in the division. Are you worried at all about what a loss like this could do, big picture and long term?
Yeah, no, I'm focused on trying to improve, and there's a lot to improve on. So, it's one game. It wasn't a good game. Don't sugarcoat it. It was a bad game, and that's on me. And we'll work to get the things we need to get fixed, which is certainly plenty of things.
What was your message to them after losing?
Just that. Yeah, just that.
Do you think any changes need to be made on the offensive line?
Yeah, look, we just got skunked here 40-0. So there's when you play a game like that and coach a game like that, there's nothing that's good enough. And then our job is to go back and look at it with a critical eye, just like we would do in any game. But 40-0 is not a good score, obviously. So a lot to work on, and that's what we'll do.
Is there anything you can take away from Daniel's play?
Yeah, I just say in every area we weren't good enough, and I'll take that.
Did you have any issues with the effort in the second half? You seemed like they came out kind of flat.
No, I mean they went down and drove right down the field. But those guys, look, those guys are competitors. Obviously the result didn't show tonight, but no, that's not us. That's not us just to insinuate that someone's not giving effort. Everybody gives balls out effort. We just didn't do a good enough job executing. But I don't question that. Not ever.
Did he catch you by surprise? How basically all the operations on all 3 sides kind of failed?
Yeah, look, I'd say it again, Pat. Wasn't good enough in any area. So a lot to work on, and that's what we'll do.
How did Darren come through the game? I mean, he kind of out before everybody else. Was that just precaution? Or
he made it through. He made it through, yeah. I think the only thing I got coming in here was Banks had cramps, in both.
Honestly, kind of was slipping off a bunch.
He fought it through. I think he had a little bit of a hammy going in there. I gotta go find out what exactly it was, but he was, he's fighting through. Again, look, there's no excuses on anything. When you lose 40-0, nothing's good enough, and I'll own that.
Okay. It sounded like you.
I think he is, but I haven't checked with those guys just yet.
Right, a loss like this can be kind of deflating. How do you keep the guys from getting too down over a loss like this?
Well, this league is humbling. It's a humbling league. I've said this many a times. It's the same thing as if you have a big win, not getting too high. This is an emotional game. Guys put everything they have into it. They prepared well. We practiced well, and we didn't put it together today. In every area, from, like I said, offense, defense, coaching, special teams, whatever you name it. When you get 40-0, there's a lot of blame to go around, and I'll take the head of it.
You said looking at things with a critical eye.
Yeah.
Would you reevaluate your processes?
Well, you do that every
how
week,
you got
Pat.
to this,
That's
or?
what you do as a head coach. You evaluate processes every week, whether you have 5 wins in a row, get blown out 40-0, have an off season. Every day after every game, you sit down and you evaluate processes. That's what you do as a coaching staff. It's been like that ever since I've been in coaching.
What is it about Dallas that's kind of given you guys issues this last year and a half or last year?
Last year, I'm not worried about. This year, we had issues with every area we could have issues with tonight.
You guys got kind of booed as you were going off the field there at the end of the first half?
Yeah, we weren't playing well.
Take a couple more.
In the first quarter, you had to burn 2 timeouts because of substitution problems. How concerning was just the overall operation?
Yeah, like I said before, everything wasn't good enough from the get-go. That's why I get beat 40-0. That's my responsibility.
Did that surprise you that it didn't work like that? Because it is your second year. There were a decent number of players coming back. It wasn't like this was all brand new with new players and stuff.
In what regard?
Did it surprise you that you had some of those operational issues, some of the hiccups?
Yeah, there was one miscommunication, on the offensive side, and then they ran people out, we ran people out, didn't get out in time, so, took a timeout. So you never want those, and that's on our end. So those are, the multitude of things that we got to clean up.
They didn't do anything with their pass rusher, Michael Parsons, that kind of...
Yeah, they had him inside.
Not surprised with it.
They had him inside. They had him outside.
Is that what they usually do that?
They put him everywhere. But, they did a good job. Give them credit. We didn't. And that's really what it is.
Daniel, what's the level of shock, frustration, if you walk off the field 40-0, a game like that?
Yeah, it's high. It's high. We're certainly frustrated and extremely disappointed with how we performed tonight, and I know I certainly am with myself. So a lot to work on and clean up. We're going to be critical of ourselves and look to correct it and get back on the right page.
You guys seem to have a lot of confidence coming into this game. What went wrong?
Just didn't execute. We didn't execute. We dug a hole for ourselves early on, and our execution was poor throughout the game. I gotta make better decisions and put us in situations where we can be successful.
Daniel, what was the basic message from Daboll in the locker room after a game like this?
I think for one, we got to own it. We got to own what happened out there. We didn't play well enough. Didn't execute well enough. Didn't give ourselves a chance to win the game, and we gotta own that. And then we gotta attack the process this week of correcting it, of being critical, and finding what we got to work on and making sure we're prepared and doesn't happen again. So we gotta own it and move on.
Daniel, how do you bounce back from a demoralizing loss like this?
We're going to watch the film. We're going to study it. We're going to be critical and correct it, move on.
Is it hard to break down where, for you in particular, where things went wrong when you never really, a lot of times you really had a chance to even get into the play for it to go wrong?
I think there's plenty of situations where I didn't make a good decision, didn't make an accurate throw, didn't make the right read, and I'm going to be very critical of myself in those situations and look to correct that going forward.
Daniel, on the Diggs interception, were you trying to throw that ball away? Well, were you rolling to your right, and were you trying to?
Diggs interception was.
I'm sorry, my mistake, Daniel. The Gilmore interception.
Yeah, it was just a poor decision in a situation where I was trying to force something that wasn't there and needed to throw the ball out of bounds and move on to the next play.
Daniel, how much do you think things snowballed after that blocked field goal that took touchdown? Because it looked like on the first drive, you had a lot of momentum, and then it was the self-inflicted wounds, and everything went downhill after that.
Yeah, I mean, we dug a hole for ourselves early on, and then, but it's about, getting back on the right page, executing, finding a way to break through, make some plays, and get it going back in the right direction. We didn't do that when we needed to, so we gotta be better, gotta be able to bounce back and right the ship.
Were you lobbying the coaches at the end to stay in the game? I don't know if there was any conversation about taking you out.
No, I mean, I wanted to stay in, and there wasn't any conversation about it.
Does it make it harder to run your offense the way you guys want to when you get down 16? I don't think Dallas kind of able to put their ears back and really come after you. I mean, did it just get hard in that situation to really run things the way you want?
It can certainly get harder when you dig yourself a hole like that to start. Not a situation you want to be in, but we had plenty of time to dig ourselves out and to execute. We got to do that going forward. So we're going to figure it out. We're going to watch the tape and correct those things and make sure we're ready to go.
You talked a lot about closing the gap in the division. Obviously, this game was very lopsided. The last game you played against the Eagles was lopsided. How do you make the case that you have done that and gotten in better position in the division?
This wasn't our best game. There's no doubt about it. This wasn't who we're capable of being, and we've got to show that. We've got to put that on the field and play that way. So we didn't do that tonight, and we have a lot to work on going forward.
Difficult one tonight. I can't imagine that there's any way in the world you guys could have expected having such a difficult night after the training camp you guys had.
No, it sucks. We got skunked in the National Football League against Dallas at home, but I don't think that takes away anything from what we did in training camp. I felt we had a really good practice. We came out and just didn't execute and then play to a level where we could play to.
That first drive, 60 yards downfield, everything seems to be working right. Then they get the block field goal, and everything seemed to snowball from there. How difficult is it to stem the tide when the momentum starts going like it did?
That's football. We got to do a better job, starting with myself and the leaders, stop the league and stop the bleeding. And we didn't do that. You can't go down like that to a team of that caliber. Just gotta go, watch film, learn from it, and get ready for Arizona.
They've always been a fast defense. Did they seem even faster tonight than maybe they were in other times you played them?
We just didn't execute, but gotta get credit where credit's due. Dallas is a great team. A lot of talent over there. And they made more plays than us. Opposite.
Your rookies kind of had a tough. I mean, really a tough tonight. But what's your message as a leader here to the rookies that had a tough go? John with the snap, Jalen dropped his first pass, things like that. What's your message for those these guys to take out?
It's the National Football League. Sad thing about it, we're 0-1. Everyone can go out there and say whatever they want to say about it. We still got 16 games guaranteed. And we got one guaranteed game next week against Arizona. So
I was more asking about your message to the rookies, just kind of how they can be.
Simple as that. It's a National Football League. You got to move on. The train going to keep them moving. Hop on. Talented. Like I told them all before. Then you prepare for this moment your whole life. Nothing new. You're going to have bad games. You're going to have bad plays in the NFL. It happens to all of us. I think you go to any locker room, any person that's been in the league long enough, everyone had a bad play. So continue to move on, learn from it, and go.
Saquon, what happened on that play? You lost until you got hit and left the ball and popped up.
I think we had it against the right coverage. Diggs made a great play. And I got to do a better job of holding the ball.
I know you were taught not to overreact to a week one loss, but is there any danger of something like this when it's 4-0, when it's that lopsided lingering?
I mean, yeah, the danger is we can come in and listen to the media and listen to everyone and let those poor me's creep in, and they could trickle down and have an effect on our season. That's the reality of it. But at the end of the day, it's on the coaches, it's on us, the leaders, it's on the players to come in next week, come in tomorrow, watch film, learn from it, and put it in the past and move on. It sucks, but sometimes you need an opening like this. You never wanted it to be this way, 4-0 home to Dallas, but we got to hold each other a little more accountable. And that starts with meetings on Monday, and then come to practice, raising level and pushing each other.
Something that was talked about was closing the gap on the Cowboys and Eagles as well. Obviously, the snap reaction after something like that is going to say, "Hey, you guys haven't closed the gap." What do you say to that?
Yeah, that's what the reaction is going to be. Like I said, it's a long season. I'm not really too focused on the Eagles. Really focused more on Arizona. And the beauty is we get to see Dallas again. We got to go there in a tough environment, but not worried about that gap. They got us. They came in. They played better than us. Made more plays. We didn't execute. And now we get ready for Arizona.
I had some what is it going to look like on Sunday, but the team would work with me, and I was able to go out there and do all the snaps that they asked me to do and not have it be affected.
Were you ever in doubt?
Nah, not really. There was some running really deep down the field where it might nip a little bit, but as far as everything that I was asked of me, I was able to do just fine.
Were you ever in doubt throughout the week in your mind? Were you ever throughout the week think that you might not actually be able to play, or did you always think that it would be healthy enough to play?
I felt like I would be able to play. Just a little frustrating to not be able to have that entire week rhythm that you usually have as a player of those full practices, to be like, all right, I feel great about everything this week lead into this game, but I feel like I'll be fine today.
Darren, I'm sorry if you asked this, was the same hamstring as you kind of dealt with last year?
Same side.
Same side. Okay.
Does that concern you? Does that concern you moving forward? What I don't know what they told you about it.
Yeah, it's so I have people working on me with a team, and it's it wasn't the same degree of strain of last year. It's more so has to do with the nerve that runs behind it. So it's not really a muscular issue. It's more so just a little bit something different, nerve-wise.
How do you sense the players reacted today to that result?
Yeah, definitely unacceptable. Definitely, some anger just at the result more so than the people, and that's what we're about. It's not attacking the people doing the work. It's attacking the work that needs to be fixed, and that's the mindset and the message of just coming in with confidence, coming in, not pointing the finger, and just all right, let's move on, let's continue on this journey.
When you walk out of here collectively, do you look at this as physical issues that you guys can solve, or is there an emotional component now moving forward to make sure that you guys get to where you need to be for next week?
I feel like it's always both, but mostly harping on all right, what are the tangible things, the smallest details that we can fix, whether it be route running for me, whether it be my blocking assignments, starting with a personal accountability and then an offensive accountability at the end of the day, and moving forward from there. I feel like we have great leadership, guys that stepped up, said things in the locker room after that, have guys feeling positive just about showing up tomorrow and doing what we need to do tomorrow as far as corrections, as far as getting the lift, taking care of our bodies, those little things, just getting back on the journey, because you take this loss with you too long during the week, it might affect you next week.
Does the offensive line need to play better, in your opinion?
I think everybody could play better. It's not fair to them. Like I said, I start looking at myself, so looking at as tight ends, what can we do, and then a lot of offensive line to be on the journey as well. Nobody in here is perfect, as that scoreboard shows. We all got things that we need to work on, and so we support our offensive line, and we're gonna build.
What gives you the confidence that's going
like I said, it's just knowing our teammates, knowing the guys left and right of us. I think we know who we are, and what we did today was just not who we are. And we came out and had too many turnovers. Gave up too much in the run game. Just all around wasn't the greatest performance, and we're going to have to do a good job of fixing that this week.
Does that opening block field goal change anything? Because it seemed like you guys were running right down the field, and they score, and suddenly it's 9-0, and then the interception 16-0, and
Yeah, I mean, it felt like we were coming off to a start fast. Offense was rolling, moving down the field. We had penalties, which was another thing that we have to clean up. The penalties kind of moved us back, had to make us kick a field goal, and then that block field goal was a big momentum shift for them. And it could have been a swing in the game, but at the same time, that's very early on. And we shouldn't let something, on the first drive affect the rest of the game. And, that's on us to turn it around.
Leo,
Thank you, Leonard.
what was the message from David?
What's that?
What was the message from David? How do you approach something like close to us?
I mean, pretty much just knowing that this isn't the time to point fingers. This isn't the time to, step away from each other. This is the time to come together and have each other's back as a team, as teammates. And I think another big message from, just the guys, the leaders in this room, is that, we know that this wasn't us, and, we didn't really do a good job of representing who we are as a team today.
Offensive linemen always say it starts with the offensive line, so how much does the offensive line shoulder the responsibility for this?
We definitely showed the responsibility. Definitely didn't go out there and play our best game, didn't execute, and that was the result.
Obviously, you in particular wanted to play a much better game against the Cowboys than last year. What happened? Why did you struggle?
Just didn't get it done. We didn't execute. The result was on the field. Got a lot of tape to watch, and I'm going to watch the tape, learn from it, and get better.
What was that like playing in today after putting in the work the offseason?
It was good to be back out there. Sucks to, lose in this fashion. But like I said, it's only up from here. We can only move forward from this. Can't dwell on it for too long. Got to get back on the offense and work even harder to come back next week.
I know you said you've got to watch the tape, but just in the moment and the process in the immediate aftermath, what did you see? What was Parsons?
I got to watch the tape. I'm going to watch the tape.
Overall, obviously confidence was high for the whole team, not just offensive line. Does this hit you guys like a ton of bricks?
I mean, obviously it sucks to lose, and it sucks to lose in this fashion, but you can't dwell on it. We have week 2 next week. We got to prepare for week 2. I mean, obviously we wanted to come out here and, put on a better performance, but, the result we got was the result we got. It's behind us now. All we can do is move forward.
How much does it hurt when you guys fall behind early and the pass rush is kind of teeing off because they know you gotta play catch up? They know you're throwing the ball when you're down 17-0.
Yeah, I mean it sucks, but we just got to do a better job of protecting. Like I said, we just got to come and work harder. That's what we got to do, work harder.
Evan, the first drive went so well. You went 60 yards, went right down the field, and then of course it short circuits. And then the rest of the 9 seemed to snowball. How difficult was it to try to get that spark back? Because it just never seemed to happen.
Yeah, it was just tough. It was tough to get that spark back. Once they got the momentum going, it was kind of tough to slow it down. I never want to feel like this again. Definitely a horrible feeling. But all we can do is learn from this and grow from this and be better.